Browns' Kevin Stefanski refuses to confirm Shedeur Sanders as backup quarterback despite Joe Flacco trade. Browns also have veteran Bailey Zappe on their practice squad. With Joe Flacco getting traded to the Cincinnati Bengals, it seemed obvious the Cleveland Browns would move Shedeur Sanders up the depth chart to back up Dillon Gabriel at the quarterback position heading into Week 6. That was until head coach Kevin Stefanski refused to confirm that on Wednesday during his press conference. Stefanski was asked if Sanders would be his number 2, behind Gabriel heading into their game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. "Well, first I'd tell you is the Joe trade took us by surprise," Stefanski began. "That was not something that we saw coming. You know, they called us, and it happened very fast, and happened not too long ago. So, still working through all roster types of things. I always have to be mindful of our players, and our players' development, and I want to make sure that I'm always doing what's best for our players and, of course, our team. But with young players, I'm always thinking about last week, making the change to Dillon Gabriel. You have to think long and hard about that, because these are young players that you're so invested in their development. So, I'll let the week play out and make a decision later on." Browns' Shedeur Sanders reacts to Joe Flacco trade. "I'm just happy for him." So, there is still a chance that Sanders is promoted to backup quarterback. But the Browns also have practice squad quarterback Bailey Zappe on their depth chart. Based off Stefanski's answer, Zappe could also be considered for the backup role. Stefanski referred to Zappe as the elder statesman right now, given his history of starting games for the New England Patriots. He also mentioned that Deshaun Watson is also providing some leadership despite not being able to play this season. Stefanski made the move last week to have Gabriel, who was taken 2 rounds ahead of Sanders back in April, make his first NFL start in London against the Minnesota Vikings. Flacco had thrown 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions through 4 games as Cleveland went 1-3 over that span, leading to a quarterback change. Gabriel threw 2 touchdowns in his first start, but the Vikings rallied late to beat the Browns, 21-17, as Cleveland fell to 1-4. But, even with his benching, Flacco was the backup during the London game as Sanders remained the third-string quarterback on the depth chart. Stefanski did, however, say he's been pleased with his young signal callers and how they're improving. "This is not a group that you have to prod into doing extra, whether that's in the weight room, in the meeting room, out on the fields," he explained. "We are really pushing these guys to improve, and I see that from Shedeur, I see that from all these young guys, which is the fun part for us as coaches, to see a lot of the work that you're putting in that's showing up and how these guys are performing." Sanders himself has not vocally commented on being stuck at third string last week, as he pantomimed when asked about it instead. He did react to the Flacco trade, though. "I'm just happy for him," Sanders said. When the Cleveland Browns traded veteran quarterback Joe Flacco, many assumed it was finally Shedeur Sanders' time. The talented rookie out of Colorado, son of NFL legend Deion Sanders, seemed next in line to take a step up the depth chart. After all, Flacco's departure opened a clear path for the young signal caller, or so everyone thought. But in true Cleveland Browns fashion, nothing is ever that simple. At his latest press conference, head coach Kevin Stefanski was asked a straightforward question: "Is Shedeur Sanders now your backup quarterback?" His answer was anything but clear. "We're evaluating everything right now," Stefanski said, sidestepping the question. "We've got confidence in all our guys, and we'll make the decisions that give this team the best chance to win." In one short response, Stefanski reignited the ongoing quarterback chaos in Cleveland, a storyline that refuses to die no matter how much the franchise tries to move forward. The never-ending quarterback carousel. It's been years since the Browns have had stability under center. Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, Jacoby Brissett, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Joe Flacco, the list reads like a rotating door of next-man-up experiments. Now, with Flacco gone to Cincinnati and Watson still recovering from his latest injury setback, the logical move would be to give Sanders a legitimate shot. The rookie has shown poise, accuracy, and flashes of leadership during practice and limited preseason action. Yet, Stefanski's refusal to publicly back Sanders sends a very different message, one that hints at either lingering doubt or strategic secrecy. Either way, it's left Browns fans and analysts scratching their heads. A coach guarded by control. Kevin Stefanski has built his coaching reputation on discipline and control. He rarely reveals his cards, and his poker-faced approach to the media is almost legendary. But this time, that approach is starting to wear thin. By dodging the Sanders question, Stefanski risks creating unnecessary speculation. Is Sanders not ready? Does the coaching staff see something behind the scenes that the public doesn't? Or is Stefanski simply trying to light a fire under his young quarterback? The move might be strategic, a way to keep Sanders hungry, focused, and aware that nothing is guaranteed. But it's also possible Stefanski's hesitance stems from fear of trusting another young QB in a city that's burned through dozens of them. Cleveland's quarterback past is haunted, and Stefanski seems unwilling to repeat it. The Shedeur Sanders factor. Shedeur Sanders didn't come to the NFL to sit quietly. He's confident, polished, and media-savvy, traits he inherited directly from his father, Deion "Primetime" Sanders. Shedeur has shown remarkable maturity during his early months in Cleveland, but he's also made it clear he expects to compete for meaningful snaps. Behind the scenes, sources around the team suggest that Sanders has impressed teammates with his work ethic and leadership. He's the first one in the building, last one out, one player reportedly said. He's not acting like a rookie. So why the hesitation from Stefanski? Some speculate the coach doesn't want to hand anything to a player who arrived with fanfare and celebrity, especially in a locker room that prides itself on earning respect the hard way. Stefanski may be trying to humble Sanders, ensuring his growth stays steady and grounded. But at what cost? Publicly withholding confidence in a young quarterback can have ripple effects, especially when that player is already under the bright glare of national attention. Cleveland's QB culture problem. The Browns' ongoing quarterback saga isn't just a matter of bad luck, it's cultural. Every season seems to bring a new, potential savior, and every season ends with another round of confusion and controversy. By refusing to confirm Sanders even as a backup, Stefanski may think he's protecting team competition. But in reality, it could be fueling another round of QB chaos. The uncertainty affects not only the players but also the locker room dynamics. Veterans need stability, offensive coordinators need clarity, and young quarterbacks need confidence from their coaches. In an era where communication and transparency often define success, Stefanski's tight-lipped style might be creating more problems than it solves.